1075 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests. We do it all. We know what bugs you. Visit us online at pestfreesc.com. That's pestfreesc.com.
There are plenty of on-court reasons without getting off the court where this seemed like it was coming down the pipeline. As we illustrated maybe on Thursday of last week, Coach Staley went into the portal and got Tania Latson. Tania Latson is extremely ball dominant, very offensive-minded, and she's a scorer. They went to go get somebody who could get a bucket. That seemed to be at odds with what the place was that Malaysia occupied on the roster. We've seen Malaysia, who is widely known around the women's basketball world as a talent, coming off the bench. I'm not sure that that's something that she always wanted to do. She played her role very well. 6th Woman of the Year, 6th Man of the Year in the SEC this year. She did that, whether it was willingly, unwillingly. She did that this year. But I don't know if that's something that she was willing to do for the rest of her career. And it seemed as if she was going to either have to compete or there were already steps in process for her to be having a similar situation. That's not something that seemed like she was interested in. And so they had a conversation. I'm assuming they had a conversation, and she made a choice.
Just kind of discussing this quarterback, this Nico situation, and Preston, you know, the main thing is right now, all we're getting, there's 3 sides, and I don't mean his side, her side, and the truth. We're getting the Tennessee side, the national narrative, which is going to be anti-Nico, and then we don't get his side of it. And I don't know, is it necessary for him or his family to come out and say, hey, this is what happened? Would you advise that, to come out and say, hey, here's kind of what transpired?
Maybe not necessarily. Okay. I mean, as long as they have suitors in the market that are going to take them on, I don't know if they necessarily need to do that, because what the narrative is not necessarily as important to if they can just get a deal done. Now, what we were talking about is, I wonder what that market looks like for him now. Because there's going to be obviously people who are going to look at a number and say, well, 1, we can't afford that. 2, do we want to deal with that? 3, is he worth that?
Rory made some really bad shots. Rory also hit, I think, 3 of the shots of a lifetime to close that thing out. Maybe 4.
Sounds Malaysia football-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it was boom or bust with McElroy, like, down the straight. That was the most Rory McIlroy thing. But, Preston, I kind of more interested in your perspective, because I've watched a lot of golf. It was cool. I actually found myself kind of pulling for DeChambeau, because I'm kind of circling. For those that have listened to this program for like 7 years, know my love-hate relationship. I called him Bryson DeChambeau, because he always was going, he's whining. Then all of a sudden I kind of came around on him and became a fan of his. Then he went to live, and I didn't like him again. And then I've started watching him now, and I'm like, huh.
But I think he's evolved, because I've listened to some reports about how maybe this is the real DeChambeau, like that he might have felt like he had to be the personality he was before, but now has kind of evolved. It's like, no, I can just be me, and I'm not a bad guy. I don't know.
That's always an option. Evolution is an option. I thought it was interesting watching they did a split screen of him and Rory walking through the gallery, and DeChambeau's high-fiving and fist bumping, and Rory's kind of like trying to stay focused. I thought that was a very interesting contrast.
Let's also be very clear about one thing with Bryson DeChambeau. Money is irrelevant anymore.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that does make you relax a little bit.
Money for him is completely, not that it was a major issue to begin, but when you take that money to go to the Live Tour, like, he literally is showing up for those tournaments like, I got paid.